When Julius Caesar returned to Rome after his adventures in the East, he entered a city that was still haunted by the memory of Sulla's dictatorship. The proscriptions had ended, but their scars remained. Families had been torn apart, fortunes had been destroyed, and the old trust in republican institutions had been shaken. Into this environment walked Caesar, ambitious, charismatic, and ready to reshape the future of Rome. And now, battle-tested, he understood that to succeed in Rome, he needed three things: public support, powerful allies, and visibility. He chose the populares camp, aligning himself with those who claimed to speak for the common people against the entrenched power of the aristocratic Senate. Caesar cultivated an image that separated him from the older, more conservative politicians. He dressed with a subtle flair, kept himself well-groomed, and carried himself with confidence that bordered on theatrical. Crowds noticed him. More importantly, they remembered him. He began his rise in the courts. Caesar prosecuted former governors for extortion and corruption, attacking men who had profited from their power in the provinces. His speeches, combining sharp logic with emotional appeal, drew large audiences. Even when he lost a case, he gained something more valuable than a legal victory: fame. Caesar's rhetorical skills were no accident. He had trained intensively in Greece, studying under renowned masters of oratory. His style was clear, forceful, and direct. He knew how to vary his tone, when to use irony, and when to unleash righteous anger. In a republic where politics played out in public, he turned words into weapons. But words alone could not carry him to the top. Roman political office required money, vast amounts of it. There were games to sponsor, debts to pay, allies to bribe, and crowds to impress. Caesar, whose family was not rich, plunged himself into enormous debt to fund his rise. One of the key figures who backed him was Marcus Licinius Crassus, the wealthiest man in Rome. Crassus had his own reasons for supporting Caesar. He needed a counterweight to Pompey the Great, the popular general whose military fame threatened Crassus's influence. Caesar, with his talent and ambition, was the perfect candidate. Caesar's early magistracies followed the traditional cursus honorum, the ladder of offices. As quaestor, he served in Spain, managing financial affairs and learning the realities of provincial administration. As aedile, he organized spectacular public games and shows, filling the city with entertainment and spectacle. These games were not just entertainment, they were calculated political investments. Caesar spent enormous sums to draw the people's admiration. Statues of his uncle Marius, once torn down during Sulla's purges, were quietly restored in public view. It was a bold signal. The Marian cause and its populist ideology was returning. The Senate grew uneasy. It saw in Caesar not only a gifted politician, but a man who might one day challenge the old order as Marius had done. Yet with each public gesture, his popularity grew. Caesar's personal life also became entangled with politics. As Pontifex Maximus, chief priest of Rome, he occupied a position of immense religious prestige. Yet a scandal would soon shake his household and test his political instincts. During the sacred women-only festival of the Bona Dea, held in Caesar's home and officiated by his wife Pompeia, a reckless nobleman named Publius Clodius Pulcher infiltrated the ceremony in disguise. Discovered and exposed, Clodius triggered a public scandal that endangered Caesar's reputation. Though Caesar was away at the time, the implication that his home and his wife had been violated forced him to act. He divorced Pompeia and later explained his decision with a phrase that would echo through history: "Caesar's wife must be above suspicion." The line was simple, but powerful. It conveyed that Caesar valued public honor over private attachments. He signaled that his image and the trust of the people came first. By the late 60s BCE, Caesar was ready to seek the consulship, the highest elected office in the Republic. But Rome at that moment was dominated by two giants, Pompey the Great, hero of the Eastern campaigns, and Crassus, the master of wealth. Both men distrusted each other, and the Senate feared them both. Caesar saw something they did not. Instead of competing with them, he proposed to unite them. He acted as a political engineer, forging a private alliance that history would remember as the First Triumvirate. Pompey wanted land for his veterans and ratification of his eastern settlements. Crassus wanted favorable policies for the tax collectors and business interests who supported him. Caesar wanted their support to become consul and secure commands that would offer him both glory and wealth. The bargain was simple. Each would use his strengths to support the others. Together, they would dominate Roman politics. With the backing of Pompey and Crassus, Caesar won the consulship of 59 BCE. Once in office, he moved with characteristic speed. He passed agrarian laws granting land to Pompey's veterans. He pushed through measures that favored Crassus's financial allies. He delivered on his promises. At the same time, he married his daughter Julia to Pompey, transforming their political alliance into a family bond. Many senators were furious. Caesar's methods were forceful and at times openly defiant, but he had the people, the army veterans, and two of the most powerful men in Rome behind him. As his consular year came to an end, Caesar secured the next crucial step in his ascent: an extraordinary proconsular command over Gaul and Illyricum for 5 years, later extended to 10. It was the perfect position. Gaul was unstable, rich in opportunity, and full of potential enemies and allies. It was a place where a bold commander could win unmatched glory or die forgotten. Caesar had no intention of being forgotten. He left Rome as a skilled politician with heavy debts and powerful enemies. He would return as something far more formidable, the greatest general of his age, and the man who would bring the Republic to its breaking point. End narration.